See the weather outside? It's really nice. Wanna go out somewhere?
Yeah, I can't, man. Like, I'm working on a project, and I really need to find some people who are working here, and have saved some juice. Like, maybe do you know any?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. You should research Kazis Klimavichus.
That's nice. How should I find him?
I don't know, maybe Google it, I guess.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
Okay, good luck.
When the Nazis occupied Lithuania in 1941 and the mass murder of Jews began in the months of July and August, Alytus town hospital doctor Ovsej Belkin asked Alexandra Nashlunina, a midwife at the same institution, for help. Alexandra and her husband Alphonsus Nashlunas, the principal of the School of Agriculture, provided the Belkin family with shelter, installing a hiding place and fully taking care of them, but the location was unsafe, as high-ranking German military officers were living on farmer school territory. So that's why Ovsej Belkin and his wife Rachel and their daughter Shayna had to look for another hideout. They found a place for Shayna in a village, while her parents Ovsej and Rachel were agreed to be taken in by the family of Alytus Teacher Seminary Deputy Director Konstantinas Bayerčius. In Sofia Binkienė's 1967 book, Warriors Without Weapons, teacher Kazis Klimavičius' memoirs about Ovsej Belkin's family rescue mission can be found. The doctor and his wife had to be led across Alytus Bridge, but it was surrounded by German soldiers from both sides. They decided to cross it at dusk. Bayerčina went with Belkin, and the author of this text went with the doctor's wife. It was a dangerous but successful endeavor, as the Germans did not pay much attention to the two couples. Kazis Klimavičius was a Lithuanian book smuggler, teacher, public figure, and editor. He was also one of the founders of Alytus Gymnasium and the principal of the mentioned gymnasium from 1919 to 1923. From 1946 to 1956, he was the principal and pedagogue of Alytus Teacher Training College. He used to disobey the Soviet orders by taking in the children who escaped exile to Siberia. He also saved the students from eviction, warned them about the possible danger. This is why he did not keep this principal's position for long and got dismissed in 1951. He writes in his memoirs, "We, local citizens, would walk like dizzy from all that shooting, but the worst part was that we could do nothing. In fact, we managed to rescue some people and even kept them safe until the defeat of Germans, but very few indeed." Konstantinas Bayerčius and his wife Magdalena were constantly hiding the Belkins in their home, surrounded by a forest, for about 2 years. It was not easy caring for the two runaways, as in the beginning of the occupation, Magdalena Borotaitė Bayerčina had given birth to her baby, so that was the prime concern of the family. Their home worker was an active aide for the Bayerčiai, hiding the refugees from prying eyes. While the Belkins were hiding at the Bayerčiai residence, Stefania Haškerienė supplied them with food and medicine. Usually the food would be brought by Jurgita Hashkerite Misikene. Living any longer with the Bayerche was growing dangerous for the Belkins, so they needed to find another location. Stefania Hashkerine, teachers Klimavicius and Gavalis, and Dr. Petrov were the ones to take care of this. After that, Ovsei, Rachel, and Shayna Belkin moved to Vilnius. Konstantinas Bayerčius was awarded the Life-Saving Cross in 1998, Maximilianas Haškeris, Stefania Hashkerine, and Jurgita Hashkerite Misikene in 2000, Petras Pečiulis in 1992, and during this particular ceremony, Alfonsas and Alexandra Našliūnai, Magdalena Bayerčine, who made a substantial contribution to the rescue of Ovsei Belkin's family, were also honored. First, he worked at Kalesninkai Primary School, and after that, he became a primary school deputy director in Alytus. Konstantinas Bayerčius encouraged students to think, develop conscious personalities. In 1941, Bayerčius was assigned to be the deputy director of Alytus Teachers Seminary, a place where another freedom fighter, Adolfas Ramanauskas Vanagas, was teaching at the time. Bayerčius worked there until his death. During the Second Soviet occupation, he participated in organizing armed resistance structures and underground press printing and distribution in the Alytus region together with priest Povilas Šliumpa. Konstantinas Bayerčius Garibaldis was responsible for the coordination of the resistance's actions. He organized a wide web of partisan sponsors so that radio technology, medicine, sanitary supplies, and reconnaissance data could reach the freedom fighters.
What stories are behind these numbers?
The Jewish community in Alytus was one of the oldest in Lithuania. In the old Jewish cemeteries, there were stone tombstones with writings that were over 400 years old. Alytus started developing quickly at the end of the 19th century and became one of the most important cities of southern Lithuania. During the time of the Lithuanian independence and German occupation, Alytus was the center of the county and the biggest city in Dzūkija. The population of Alytus was 7,500 people, of which 5,000 were Lithuanian, 2,300 Jewish, 150 Polish, 30 Russian, and 20 German. Lithuanians had 39 shops in the city, meanwhile Jewish people had 139. Jews also had 10 butcher shops, 2 canteens, 6 hotels, 2 saunas, windmills, sawmills, printing houses, forges, and various other companies. The Jewish community in Alytus had their own chapels, schools, and an enormous library. A portion of Jewish youth emigrated to Palestine. Beiralas Shmuelis was born on the 20th of November 1883 in Alytus. An entrepreneur and public figure, upon the restoration of Lithuanian independence, he actively participated in the activities of Alytus Firefighting Union, composed of volunteers, was a member of the board of directors for a long time. He was also a member of the Jewish Bank's board of directors. He participated in various activities of the Lithuanian and Jewish unions. Upon the start of the German Revolution and Germans not accepting the rules in Alytus and the start of robberies in the city of Alytus and its surroundings, he hired people using his own funds and actively chased the criminals. When the Bolsheviks broke through the front and took over Alytus, there were 2 soldiers who hadn't managed to escape. Beiralas dressed up one of the soldiers in his own clothes and he escaped. The second one was hidden in Beiralas' home. He provided material to support the army and the police. Dominykas Jacevičius, along with his son Stasys, let the Beiralas family hide in their barn. When the hiding place was revealed, the family was arrested and shot in 1942. Mendelis Bokšitskis was born in Alytus in 1898, died in September of 1941 in Vilnius ghetto. He was a lawyer and a public figure. He studied at Vytautas Didysis University. After the restoration of Lithuanian independence, he actively participated in the creation of self-governing institutions of Alytus city and county, where he provided various assistance to the 1st Infantry and it was setting up. He was elected into the Alytus City Council several times. He was also actively involved in organizing the volunteer firefighting team of Alytus, He was the leader of the team between 1921 and 1935. He was a member of the Council of the Lithuanian Fire Brigade Union between 1925 and 1934. He was involved in various Lithuanian and Jewish communities. Mendelis Bakshitskis' son Shadia Bahat, born in 1928, remembers, "Then I started imagining my home and family, my daddy, mommy, my sister Lilia, who was older than me by 13 months, and Rosalia, who had always lived and worked with us. Grandma and Grandpa lived on the second floor of our house. The images full of pure happiness come to mind, the four of us cuddled up on the sofa in the living room, kissing and listening to Daddy's endless stories of faraway lands and people. I also remember Daddy's school, when on weekends we, the kids, would lay down to rest beside our daddy, and he would answer our endless slew of questions about everything. My daddy was not only a lawyer, but also the founder and chief of the volunteer firefighting team of Alytus. That's why I was really interested in fires and extinguishing them. I remember the wailing sirens and Daddy running to put out a fire, sometimes later returning with a sooty face. We were very happy and proud of him when he received his first and second medals for helping a close one. When Daddy designed ice and algae-proof underground water tanks, he became famous abroad too. Then he got a gilded medal from Estonia. I was so happy and proud that I would sit through all of Daddy's training for new volunteer groups, even though I was just a little boy." Hiršas Kalmanavičius was born in Alytus, Lithuania in 1887 and attended the Jewish primary school there. Later he moved to Vilnius to attend religious school. Hiršas received a teacher's credential in Vilnius in 1910. In 1915, during World War I, he, along with many other Jews living in the border districts, was deported by order of the Russian Tsar. Hiršas continued his teaching career and became head of the local Jewish primary school in the city of Lukoml in what is now Belarus. Hiršas Kalmanavičius returned to Alytus in 1921, where he worked at the Alytus Jewish High School from the time of his return to 1940. He was the principal of that school in 1926 and 1927. He taught subjects including geography, history, Hebrew, and religion Judaism. The school moved several times and all of its various locations are not known, but in 1922, when Hiršas Kalmanavičius began teaching there, it was located at Užulenko Street number 22, now Užulenko Street number 30. All were killed in the Holocaust in 1941. The address of his family residence is unknown. His death in the Holocaust is confirmed by the documents filled out by his sister Bluma Minca and submitted to the database of victims of the Shoah at the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum and Research Center in Israel. The more you know about the past, the better you are prepared for the future.